everyone. It is our pleasure to welcome you to the Insurance Industry Charitable Foundation Midwest Division 10th Annual Blazing the Trail Benefit virtual pre-show event. I am Sabrina Hart.
And I'm Jeff Krager, and we're your co-hosts for this evening. We have a great pre-show lined up for you. We'll queue up right after we take a few minutes to celebrate our generous sponsors.
It's all of you and the individuals and the company names that you've just seen on the screen that make this event possible. Our mission is simple: help communities and enrich lives by uniting the collective strength of the insurance industry and providing grants, volunteer service, and leadership every single day. And tonight is about celebrating 10 years of giving and inspiring hope. It's about celebrating our collective efforts that continue to support so many nonprofit organizations and so powerfully impact our diverse communities here in the Midwest, where our need is more than ever this year.
That's right, Sabrina. And we'll also celebrate our original Insurance Industry Charitable Foundation Midwest founders. We'll hear from other CEOs. We've got a great panel lined up about how they navigated 2020 and the headwinds faced there, and also into 2021. And most importantly, we'll celebrate our 10th anniversary together and have some actual fun. So don't forget to check out the virtual bag where you can find some great info on all of the opportunities to plant a tree, and yes, a tree with your name, and look for the fun pink IICF bag and the icon inside of that virtual program for access.
And most importantly, this evening through our paddle drop, you will have a chance to further help our nonprofit partners who are relying on our support more than ever as we continue to navigate through the pandemic. So stay tuned.
Visit colleges with my daughter.
Have a drink in a crowded bar with loud music.
I'm gonna hug everyone I meet. I can't wait to hug again.
I'm gonna have a nice dinner and go to a Broadway play.
I don't know if it'll be the first thing, but I'm looking forward to getting back to shaking some hands and doling out some hugs.
Visit my mom in Florida, who I haven't seen in a year.
Yeah, I'm a big cyclist, so I want to go back and do a cycling race. Haven't done that in a long time.
I'm going back to St. Bart's, which is where I'm supposed to be as of February of this year. So I can't wait to get back to a beach vacation with some beautiful weather and relax.
I'm gonna get my sister and my niece. We're gonna do a girls' week, go to Canyon Ranch, go hiking, have facials,
I don't know specifically what that will be either, but I can tell you that it will likely be something or somewhere that's both warm and sunny.
That we come through as a united and more friendly country.
That we get back to some sense of normalcy and a bit more predictability.
My parents stay healthy until they get fully vaccinated and the pandemic ends.
On a personal basis, I just wish everyone peace and health and prosperity. On a business basis, like Christoph, I'd like to get back to some normalcy.
That's a big and important question for me. I'm looking for just greater levels of civility, particularly in the United States, a return to sort of decency, if you will, a return to what I'd call a constructive dialogue versus a destructive dialogue. And to the extent that we've got, what I would call activism that's occurring on important topics, that again, that'd be constructive, not destructive.
Wow, that's an impressive roster, Sabrina. I'm really, really looking forward to that discussion. But first, let's have a little fun. So we're so glad that you're here with us tonight, even though we've gone virtual, but we want to feel like we're together, right? And so in the spirit of celebrating 10 years and inspiring hope, we want to see where you're actually celebrating tonight. So please take a selfie with you or the group that you're with and share it on Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag Iicf Midwest 10. You can see that right there on the bottom of your screen. And we'll be featuring these photos at any chance we get. Trying to find a bonus in all of this. There are going to be prizes for these pictures. Maybe not tonight, but within a week we will announce the winners. So again, post the selfies for some really fun prizes.
I don't know about you, Jeff, but it's a perfect time to get settled in, and let's make a cocktail before the main event kicks off.
Let's do
So
it.
here to help us craft our signature 10 years of celebrating and inspiring hope is Katie Renshaw. Katie was named the 2019 World Class U.S. Bartender of the Year by Diageo. Katie, we're thrilled to have you with us tonight, and we need a drink.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Katie Renshaw, and I'm a bartender in Chicago, and I'm going to teach you how to make tonight's signature cocktail, the Premium Punch. Before we get started, I want to go through all of our supplies to ensure that you have everything that you need. First of all, we're going to need a cocktail shaker, a 3-piece shaker, or a set of shaker tins with a strainer. If you don't have either of those things, you can substitute a mason jar or a small Tupperware container. Next, you're going to need a jigger that measures in ounces, or you can use a tablespoon. You're going to need a tea strainer or a fine strainer, a grater or a microplane, a knife, an elbow juicer or any kind of citrus juicer. If you don't have any of those things, you can definitely just use your own strength and juice with your hands. And lastly, a muddler or a wooden spoon or just anything to squash things with, basically. So I wanted this cocktail to give you blanket coverage. So if you're normally a whiskey drinker or not normally a whiskey drinker, I think this is going to cover you either way. Our main ingredients tonight are going to be Bullet Bourbon, one of my personal favorite bourbons, and I'm sure it's one of yours too. And we're also going to be using Angostura bitters, which is a staple classic cocktail ingredient. You might already have it in your home bar already. You're also going to need maple syrup, definitely the real stuff is best for this cocktail. You're going to need 1 lemon, and you're also going to need pomegranate arils. I didn't even know those had a name, but yes, pomegranate arils is what they're called. We're also going to be garnishing our cocktail with some fresh mint and some freshly grated nutmeg. And of course, don't forget your ice and your glass. Now that we've gone through everything we need, I'm going to give you an extra second in case you need to grab anything last minute. Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of pomegranate arils. Or if you just have regular pomegranate juice, do a 1/2 ounce of that. Going to give those a good muddle right into our tin there. And then when we build a cocktail, we want to start with our smallest or our cheapest ingredient first to mitigate our risk. so we don't waste any of those expensive ingredients if we make a mistake. So we're gonna start with our smallest ingredient, which is a dash of Angostura bitters, just 1 dash. Then we're gonna move on to that lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice is always crucial for a great cocktail. So we're just gonna squeeze this lemon directly into our jigger, a 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, which is the equivalent to 1 tablespoon if you are using a tablespoon measure. Then our maple syrup, 3/4 of an ounce of 100% maple syrup. And last but certainly not least, our bourbon. 2 ounces of bullet bourbon. Put some ice in our glass. Add ice to our shaker. Give that a good shake. And we're gonna fine strain that into our glass to remove any of those fruit bits that got in there. We're gonna top it with some of the extra pomegranate arrows if you have them. A little bit of fresh mint. Just tap it on the back of your hand to release some of those fresh oils so you get that nice mint smell. And last but not least, some freshly grated nutmeg. And there you have it, our premium punch. Premium because it's made with a great spirit like Bullet, but also as a little nod to all of you insurance folks out there. Cheers and have a great night.
Hey, thanks, Katie. Okay, now, so we're all going to attempt to mix up this fun with our 10-year cocktail, so follow along. Hey, Jeff, can you toss me the lemon?
Sure thing. Sabrina, can you hand me the bullet? Thank you.
Got my shaker, got my bitters, got a little lemon, little bullet, also nutmeg, some maple syrup, some pomegranate, strainer, shaker. I'm all set. Let's do it. Doesn't that smell delicious? Refreshing. All righty. How about a toast, Jeff?
All right, let's do it.
Hey, cheers to 10 years. Now that we have our celebration drink in hand and we are close to kicking off the main event, let's hear from some of our nonprofit partners.
Hi, my name is Ariane May, and I am honored to be here today to represent Stepstone Academy here in Cleveland. We are a charter school that serves K through 4. Our foundation is literacy, and the Insurance Industry Charitable Foundation has supported us since 2016, as you are our literacy champions and have recognized the importance of the 3rd grade reading guarantee in changing the course of the lives of the children that we serve through this school. This past year has been humbling, to say the least. We can't be together today because of the global pandemic, and our education systems and the virtual learning that we are all very well aware of have greatly impacted the faces of our future. So we're here today to support and to see the future government leaders, doctors, chemists, scientists, frontline workers, nurses, all these heroes that we're hearing about today. The future is in school right now, and it is our duty to advocate for them. So I say thank you so much for your support and for your continued support for advocating for these faces of our future. We are deeply grateful.
Okay, Jeff, so now we're counting down to the main event. I'm getting super excited. Let's freshen up that drink and get ready. In the meantime, Jeff, can you remind our guests about all the fun tools available this evening?
Sure can. You can make a donation at any time using the link in the chat box, or you can text during the program. The details are at the bottom of the screen. Check out the digital program, provides great insight and an overview of this evening's program, our nonprofit partners, our guest speakers, and of course, all the fun stuff. And don't forget to show us where you're at tonight by posting those photos with the hashtag Iicf Midwest 10, shown also here at the bottom of the screen. If you don't feel like dressing up, don't worry about it. You have free license to dress up whatever pet you have in the house or neighbors. We'd also like to see those on the screen. And of course, that virtual bag. Look for the pink bag in the program. I think that's it. I think we're ready.
Well, thanks for all those reminders, Jeff. And thanks to all of you for tuning in to our pre-show. Don't forget to plant the tree in the Zurich forest. So let's get started. We will see you shortly for the 10th annual Iicf Blazing the Trail benefit.
Electricity
Good evening, everyone. It is our pleasure to welcome you to the Insurance Industry Charitable Foundation Midwest 10th Annual Blazing the Trail Benefit. I am Sabrina Hart.
And I'm Jeff Krager, and we're very happy that you're with us here tonight. We'll be your co-hosts. Before we start, we want to give a huge shout out to all of you who contributed and have supported the Iicf not only tonight, but over the past 10 years, and hope to continue that support. As an industry and through your contributions, we're truly helping communities and enriching lives. Let's take a moment to recognize our amazing sponsors.
Hi, my name is Iicf Wilson, and I am the Far South Side Regional Manager for the Becoming a Man program. Youth Guidance is so grateful to Iicf for supporting the Becoming a Man program. BAM is a transformative mentoring and counseling program that services over 7,000 young men here in the city of Chicago. Your support allows myself and other BAM counselors to continue our beloved BAM circles. These circles help our young men not only thrive in the classroom, but outside of the classroom. Again, Iicf, we thank you because you guys are truly a part of the solution.
Please welcome Hank Watkins, Chair of the Iicf Board of Governors.
Thank you, Jeff. Hello and welcome to the Iicf Midwest Division's 10th Annual Blazing the Trail Benefit. I have fond memories of this event from the last time I attended and look forward to rejoining the Lloyd's table and all of you when we're live again. The resilience of Iicf since last March has been remarkable, yet not surprising given the commitment of our national, regional, and local leadership, board members, the companies they represent, and the many other friends of Iicf we've made over the years. I'm based in New York and joined the Northeast Division Board 10 years ago at the invitation of Executive Director Betsy Myatt. Since then, I've served on the dinner committee, selling furniture, tables and chairs as we like to say, and was board chair from 2017 to 2019. That division's annual benefit dinner was held virtually in early December, and I have no doubt this evening's event will meet or exceed your fundraising and engagement expectations. Lloyd's is proud to have been a founding board company of the Midwest Division and continues its support across the organization because Iicf enables us to accomplish the critical personal and professional goals we all hold close, providing a hand up to people in need and improving the perception of the industry we love beyond the stakeholders we work with every day. As a convener of industry colleagues striving to support our communities and promote our great industry, Iicf is in a unique position to build on the success of last year's virtual events and those to come in 2021. I'm confident we'll emerge stronger overall, and that's entirely due to the unwavering commitment of our chapter and division boards in the US and UK, supported along the way by Iicf CEO Bill Ross and his dedicated team. A virtual shout out and thank you to all of you from coast to coast and in London. Congratulations to the Midwest boards, and thank you to everyone in the audience this evening and in previous years for your contributions of time, talent, and treasure. Together, you've raised and granted more than $3.5 million to 190 nonprofits since the first brick in the Midwest Foundation was laid in 2011. Last year alone, more than $500,000 was distributed to 29 nonprofits in the Midwest, a powerful indicator of our industry's generosity at a time when none of us were left untouched by the pandemic. Proceeds from this evening's event will be used to provide much needed financial support to the Midwest Division's Community Grants Fund, benefiting nonprofits focused on education, health, and safety. Several of these organizations will be introduced to you this evening, along with the CEO panel moderated by Bonnie Boone. We look forward to hearing their perspectives on last year and what the future may hold as our industry and society evolve in a post-pandemic world. I'll close with a big virtual hug and thank you to Kelly Hartwig for inviting me to welcome you this evening, to the terrific Midwest Division Board led by Sabrina Hart, to the Associate Board led by Dan Brown, and to the generous event sponsors you'll see acknowledged on the screen on the IICF website. It is now my pleasure to hand the mic to Debbie Babcock, another founding member of the Midwest Division, a true friend to many of us in the audience tonight, and mentor to hundreds of students who've joined the insurance industry from the Katie School at Illinois State University. Debbie's commitment to students, our industry, and the IICF continues to inspire all of us. Enjoy the evening, and may you and your families stay safe as we return to healthier times.
As we celebrate 10 years of giving and inspiring hope, we would like to take a moment to focus on those who made it all possible. Tonight, we recognize the founding board members of the IICF Midwest Division. Recently, several of us came together to reflect on the early days of the foundation and the fun and camaraderie we had while we were building our division. As you will see in the upcoming remarks, some of us donned our costumes from earlier Blazing the Trail events where guests were invited to dress in costumes of the designated decade. Let's listen as those early days are fondly remembered as we began impacting nonprofits in our communities.
I really love the fact that when we got this thing going, we took a different path and went with the themes and did something, it's funny if you think back how many of these dinners you go to over the years, how you don't remember any of them. You remember all of these, right? Because they had a theme and everyone had a unique characteristic about it. And so you go back, I totally remember that. I remember going any time, seeing how everything was done up. It was just amazing. I thought that was just so different than what anybody else had done. And, it took a little courage. It was not the norm. So it was great.
Yeah, I think our group was really focused on ways that we can involve the broader industry people, like, thanks to Clark and Brian and the others, we were able to do that associates board, which was unique. And then we kept focusing on the volunteer efforts because we knew that the insurance industry employees needed to get engaged at a much, bigger level. It couldn't just be at this board level, that it had to go all the way down into grassroots. Yeah. My favorite moments was Rick and I got a chance to go out and deliver the $50,000 check to Build On at the high school. Do you remember going there? Yeah, Cornerstone. Schools.
Yeah, that's it.
I was able to go down to Cornerstone and both computers, and then another year they bought all new science equipment for their labs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those were neat.
Wow.
We had a great partnership with Sesame Street Workshop too, and bringing the Sesame Street characters to one of our nonprofits breakthrough in East Garfield Park. With that, our everyday is reading and writing day, and that early literacy initiative. It was so endearing watching those little people and their eyes just pop out when Elmo and Cookie Monster came in. And
the fact that we brought together people from different organizations in the industry and got them to come together and work jointly to develop a charitable organization in the region and to engage people within those organizations and to create new friendships and camaraderie, and at the same time have a lot of fun and show that the industry has personality and cares to give, because the overall original MO that was given to us sounded good, but to bring it to life, we weren't quite sure we could, and we did.
I remember coming home from the first associate board meeting and being just super jazzed the entire way home. I was driving up Lakeshore Drive and was just, on cloud nine about the energy in the room and the enthusiasm and the commitment to do it right and to do it in a professional way.
Beyond the professional context the IICF brought to me, it brought just a sense of giving back. That's something I'd never been part of in my professional career, the ability to give back. Because frankly, all of us are so fortunate And there are so many people in this world that are not. And being able to give back and doing it in a professional way with people I now call friends, it was a defining part of my last 10 years of my professional career. I really enjoyed working with you then, and many of you still today.
Well, the foundation that this group started years back, it's just amazing to see the growth of the Midwest Division and formalizing chapters that have also have robust boards and are very active. And
just got so much exposure to all these nonprofits in Chicago that I had no idea existed. So like it really kind of opened up my world. I'm getting kind of teary thinking about it. And just, people that all day, they work all day. And I remember there was one of the volunteers, like she did like respite care for like for families so they could like get a break. And just reading that stuff was just, I'm not really, sorry. Yeah, it was just really great.
I, in my heart, love giving back to the community, and this foundational group made that possible. It's just great to see how forward the whole group has come and what we're able to do together in such a small, short period of 10 years. It's really, amazing. And like Pat was saying, the insurance industry is not known for good networking, and I think this group has really helped create that, and that's something to be really proud of as well.
It was a blank slate for the associate board. I think we were the first associate board of any division. We weren't really sure what we were going to do, and I remember trying to figure out with Clark and some of the other founding associate board members how we best support the division board, but do our own thing, and that's when we came up with Cheers for Charity.
A real toast.
10 years success.
Cheers.
What's in the mug, Clark?
Continued.
Good friends.
All good.
Cheers, everyone.
Congratulations and thank you to our Midwest founders. Now on to the main event for this evening, our CEO panel. I am truly honored to have this opportunity to welcome and introduce our panelists this evening. Lori Goldterman, Aon. Lori, I think this is the second year in a row we've shared the stage and the screen, so thank you for your support of IICF. Peter Eastwood, Berkshire. And Peter, we really appreciate the Berkshire support over the years. Karen Reku, General Reinsurance. Thank you for your support, Kara. And Christoph Taryn, Zurich, North America. And Christoph, we welcome you to Chicago and to IICF. And of course, our panel moderator, Bonnie Boone from Arthur J. Gallagher. Bonnie, it's quite special for me this evening to have you moderating. You've been a mentor of mine since my very first underwriting trainee role.
And Bonnie, we congratulate you on being named as one of the 100 most influential African American leaders in business by the National Diversity Council. Congratulations and well deserved, Bon.
But welcome to all of you. I could not imagine a better group to share their perspectives. The unprecedented year of the pandemic, economic disruption, and social unrest may be slightly in the rearview mirror, but I think we will continue to feel its impact from some time to come. How we respond to the challenges that remain and the ones that lie ahead will have profound impacts on our industry, on our organizations, and on our employees and the customer relationships going forward.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Sabrina, for that great introduction of our fantastic panel. I am very honored to moderate the panel of some of our industry titans and the industry today. And I'm especially pleased to work with IICF with their efforts and for the 10th year anniversary, their efforts with their philanthropic and charitable contributions, focusing on health, education, and safety. And so you've heard the introductions of our panelists, and so we're going to go right for the first question. And that question, I'm going to ask Lori Goldterman to start with me. And the question is, what role should corporate social responsibility play in the development of corporate strategies within the broader business community, given the growing need across the U.S. and the globe?
Well, I think, Bonnie, you raise a great point. And if this pandemic's taught us anything, it's how complicated, unpredictable, and connected our world is today. And I think we all feel that in business, we thrive when our communities that we serve and the people that are living in those communities are flourishing. So I think any firm's natural first reaction is want to help their employees first. Quickly, that moves into how can we help our communities and how can we help our businesses and the customers that we support. And I think we saw this as in our own firm and in our industry. At Aon, one of the first things we did is we put out a statement to protect all jobs and no one would lose their job as a result of COVID-19. That was a really strong statement to make and a commitment in an incredibly uncertain time. And I would say the insurance companies did the same. They stood up flexibility in premium payments, willingness to accelerate claims, and even advance audits to support cash flow. So since then, we've taken that a bit further in our communities, and we've stood up what we call the coalitions in our 10 major cities around conversations of work, travel, and convene. How are we going to get back to work? And a couple of major outcomes have really transpired from that. One of them is just creating this forum for companies to come together around risks that we've never faced in this pandemic. And some wonderful innovation has come out of it. One of them is companies' efforts to change how they're thinking about benefits with mental health and well-being.
I think at Gallagher, we were talking about the advice that we give our clients. And so now we have to step back and, take that advice ourselves about viewing employees and their mental health, because we're just in such unprecedented times. And I know Gallagher has like hotlines, for your mental health and, so thank you very much. Christoph, would you like to make any comment on that?
We've made similar commitments as well. I mean, you talked about our customers as well. I mean, we have adjusted payment terms. I mean, we've made sure that we also helped them, through this where they needed retooling, where they needed new insurance offerings. And I think by and large, the insurance industry has actually coped quite well. Yeah.
Peter.
Corporate social responsibility really starts with really the ethical behaviors of all corporations and all business leaders, and the need for people to act ethically with integrity, to adhere to local regulations and laws at all times. And I start there because, well, again, there's multiple dimensions to corporate social responsibility. In the absence of being successful at that high level that I just described, the rest of it will fall off pretty quickly, and none of it will be sustainable. So I think, for all corporations, you need to start there. The next dimension that I'll mention, and it's just really one level below what I just referenced, is around really sort of two subjects. One is ESG, or environmental, social, and governance topics, and the other is DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion topics. And you're seeing across the corporate world a range of activities from big to small, and a whole bunch of things in between. It includes charitable giving, it includes volunteerism. The one that I'll comment on just briefly is really the concept of jobs and careers. And I've formed this belief that for corporations and business leaders, if you want to make a real impact, the most powerful thing you can do as a business leader and as a corporation is to create jobs. And not only jobs, but careers, right? To be able to hire people, to put them into an environment that's career oriented. And why do I say that? I say that simply because jobs and careers are literally life-altering moments for people. It is a way that you can make a major difference in not only the life of an individual, but their family, and as we try to solve some of the societal issues that we're all facing, particularly around diversity and the historically underrepresented groups in the business world, there are structural changes that need to occur. And if you can do that through jobs, you can have a multi-generational impact and I think a very broad societal impact that complements very nicely the other types of activities, again, around volunteerism and charitable giving. But I do think for all of us, jobs is the most impactful way for us to make a difference and to do something that's incredibly important for the local, countries, cities, towns, states that we all operate in. So those are my, sort of high-level views around corporate social responsibility.
We talk about risk management. We talk about loss prevention. We talk about resiliency. And so this year, in these unprecedented times, I've been telling my clients it's a perfect storm. It's the insurance market, the economy, and COVID. I mean, you just couldn't ask for better, So I'd like for everyone to try to make comment about some of the key lessons that you've learned about trying to balance your priorities in 2020.
One thing that we did learn, and in my previous role, up to the end of last year, I was the COO for the group worldwide. And so we saw this pandemic moving, from Asia into Europe and then US and Latin America. And so we learned while we were doing this on how to best prepare for it. And what was interesting to me was that initially we were all very concerned about, how do you get 65,000 employees to move online almost, from one day to the next? And the whole digital adoption curve, if there is a silver lining, we probably achieved more in those couple of weeks in terms of moving things to a digital environment than otherwise probably would have taken us years. Yeah, but while that was the initial focus, just how do we make things work? I think the second step was really around, well, how do we do that in a secure way? Because we've all seen the waves of cybersecurity and the impact that that has had, not just on us, but also on our customers. But what for me was actually a learning from all of this is that at some point, it became much more important to actually understand how do we support our employees and our customers. Once the technology works and we figured out the security piece, mental well-being, how do you manage a team remotely? Those are much more critical questions in my mind that we've learned from in terms of having to adjust to that. So for us, the focus eventually really became around how do we support employees through this pandemic? And so we did a couple of things around putting in hospitalization benefits for all of our employees globally that were affected, because a lot of the communities that we worked with, are probably more vulnerable in this pandemic than they were even before. And so through our Zurich Foundation, we put up $20 million globally to support 1 million vulnerable people through the pandemic. And so we continued that commitment out through last year. We'll continue that commitment this year.
We can't serve our clients unless our employees are on solid ground themselves. So I would say that the biggest lesson learned is that immediate kick to empathy and communication skills as leaders had to dramatically increase overnight. We needed to not only check on the technology, which frankly, for our insurance industry that may not be known as being so tech savvy, we all sure pivoted very fast to serve clients.
That mental health component is such a huge part, and it's at all levels of the organization. So, starts with me, certainly my management team, but it goes to all types of associates in all different environments. So we spend a lot of time trying to be open about sometimes when we have bad days as a management team and sharing that and helping out each other to provide that support. But I think that, being comfortable sharing some of your own personal situations helps everyone have empathy for each other on that. I think it's really important to take your vacation. If anyone on my team is listening, you've heard me say that, but you need breaks. And the world we live in requires more flexibility than ever before, just with some of the demands that we all have going on. So there was a lot to be said, and Lori said it really well. If our associates aren't healthy and focused, it's very hard to add value for clients. So we try to combine some events. We did a fitness, a walker tracker for all levels, wherever your comfort zone is, but did it with charitable contributions on the back end. So there was a competition with clients and associates. So just try to do as many things as we can that provide that, positive or a healthy component of our daily lives, which are so disrupted and anxiety filled with for lots of different reasons, because everyone has their own issues, pluses or minuses throughout this entire pandemic. So been a big education for many of us, I would say.
And the way I think about it is, and what I've told our team over the course of really the last approximately 12 months is, at all times, and it's just highlighted during the pandemic, there are two things that you need to focus on. One is the well-being of the team, and the other is the continuity of the business. We're fortunate in this industry. We're able to do both, right? In both of those objectives, they really are inextricably linked. I mean, your best opportunity to keep your team well and safe and doing well is to continue to be able to operate your business, to continue to employ them, and to give them more and more opportunity. And likewise, right, if you take good care of your team, lo and behold, and it shouldn't be surprising to anybody, the continuity of your business will continue. And then I would say, in terms of sort of lessons learned along the way, I think for all of us, focusing on those two things that I just mentioned at all times is critically important. And for those business leaders and companies that focused on them a lot prior to this health and economic crisis, we all went into this with what I would call high levels of reservoirs of goodwill and high levels of trust. And anytime you can keep the levels of trust in your organization high, the greater the opportunity you're going to have for good performance in your organization. I think the other thing you need to do is to make sure that you give people a lot of latitude, right, and trust that they're going to get things done. And then lastly, I would say, the best thing you can do as well is to give people as much certainty as possible. People during this time are dealing with a very high degree of uncertainty. And so anything you can do to shorten that list, all the better for them and for you.
So are there some things that you think might change with all of this, with us working remotely and the industry?
I think it's a great question. And Bonnie, I think the hottest topic, I mean, I am literally going on my 10th month. Christoph and I both have these banners, but the truth is I'm in my basement and my dog Daisy is laying right by me. So, my mindset's totally changed as a leader to how we can work, how we can be more agile and flexible. And we're in those conference rooms trying to figure that out, both at Aon and I'm sure every company listening. And one of my personal approaches is I think about how to be more flexible is I don't want to sacrifice what I call the 3 C's. So what are those? Culture, collaboration, and career development. So I think we're going to have to be really intentional as we decide what jobs can be virtual, remote, how many days remote, what does the home base look like, but then how do we create that culture that all of our organizations need? How do we promote career development and just collaborate with each other? I think there's no question every leader is thinking differently today, and that's going to open up new doors of how we source talent. But I think it's also, we have to think about fair pay and gender equity. So, I mean, at Aon, we've got people moving all over the place, but if you're moving from New York to Austin, we have to be very mindful that the pay equity in that location is quite different. So I think we really have to have an incredibly strategic plan to really think about the new world we're in.
For me personally and for the team at Gen.Re, what mattered to them or what kind of fell away in 2020 that is okay to fall away and what is like rose up, right, as being a priority. But I think we're also learning what's important to ourselves, and there are some surprises in there in 2020. But as we unfold back to, a diverse work environment, some remote, some at the office, how do we level that playing field to have comfort for the 3 C's that Lori mentioned, like that collaboration when half are in the room and half isn't is very different than when everyone's remote. So as we move forward, and I completely agree with her that this is what every executive is thinking about, what that looks like is a function of not only the executives, but what the associates want as well.
I mean, I don't think there is any way that we go to 100% remote working. I mean, the office will continue to play a role. And so for certain things, particularly collaboration, coaching, development, I mean, how we build that cohesion of a team, it's fantastic what we can do online, but I miss being in the office and being with colleagues. And so I think you'll see a different balance of what we bring people in the office for, and it'll be much more team-based. And we probably need different office environments as well that promote more collaboration. I mean, when somebody has to make an individual contribution, I mean, I honestly do not care where they do that from, and they should make that decision whether they would rather do that from home or want to do that in an office. And a lot of it is also personal choice and personal circumstance.
There will have to be some things that come back into the office. But I don't know, Cara, if you want to just talk about on a collective basis, you know, some things that you see in the future that have evolved from this. You know,
out of silver linings, out of the silver linings. So like, to me, and this is one of those, like, I think it's a catch-22, but it's an awesome problem to have, right? So you look, and just the way that Christoph and Lori described, like worrying about technology and then cybersecurity and then the emotional well-being, we've accomplished so much like in those first couple months, and have continued to build on that as an industry, as organizations, as individuals. Like, it's amazing when you step back and think about all the claims that got paid, all the deals that got done, right? All the progress that organizations have made, that they've not been stagnant in, you know, in our industry for the last year. And you can keep piling that list on. Like, you really do have to, again, not perfect, but you have to step back and congratulate yourself for surviving that, right? And thriving in it, different kind of thriving. And there are things that we know we need to work on, like the career development piece, and sometimes the virtual training is not the same. But it has an interesting dilemma of, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you have to, or what you don't constrain yourself by the, you know, current social norms, I'll call it that. So I get excited using 2020 as a baseline for, you know, future opportunities to say, we didn't think it was possible. We didn't think that we could do anything that we accomplished in 2020 the way we did it. So to me, it's a huge opportunity of learning of like how much, if you really stretch yourself and challenge yourself, what you can get done.
In 2020, there was a lot of turmoil. There's the racial inequities, you know, the murder of George Floyd. There's the, you know, a lot of things that are being brought to light in our country. So I just want you to talk a little bit about, I know that Zurich is doing some fantastic things about, you know, what actions you're taking to, you know, talk about the inequities in our country, and specifically in our industry too.
So yeah, no, absolutely. And for us, if there's one thing that I think the pandemic has shown, is that the people that are vulnerable, I mean, are disproportionately hit by this pandemic. I think Lori mentioned it. If I just take women as an example, I mean, as part of the risk report, I mean, we did a survey of women in the 6 largest developed countries. I mean, 70% of them said their career was going to be negatively impacted because of COVID. So it will take us time to get back some of the progress that we have made. So I think for us, it's really, we need to double down, I mean, on the commitments that we have already made. And so how do we strengthen them? So within Zurich North America specifically, what it has meant is that we look at diversity and inclusion and equity and belonging, and we look at that at the level of our employees, but also in terms of how do we work with our own customers, and then in the communities again. And so with our employees, I mean, we continue to do all the things around training, awareness, I mean, succession plans, you name it. But what we've done this year, which is new, is we've actually put in place a diversity and inclusion council, where we brought in some people from outside Zurich to actually look at some of the processes and practices and bring some best practices to us and challenge whether we actually are doing enough. So that for us has been a change, together with being very transparent around how are we going to measure whether we are actually making progress, and share that with our employees.
One was obviously the tragic death of George Floyd, and I would say, as someone who's always been passionate about diversity and inclusion, there was a new level of heightened discussions that took place as a result of that terrible incident. And it sparked what we called a listening tour within each of our geographies, where we were really asking people to open up about how do they feel about it, and how do we want to actually put into action a way we're going to affect our communities and certainly our company differently. So like Christoph said, we stood up a Global Inclusion Leadership Council and made a very specific statement that we were going to put our action into words, and financially, we made an investment of $30 million over the next 5 years in a program called the Apprentice Program, which Zurich is also a clear leader. And I think, Christoph and I will share a bit more about this later, but this is one place, Bonnie, where I would say our industry can come together and unite and have these type of deeper conversations to make sure that as active members in our communities, we're driving change around these critically important topics today. And we, all of us on this panel with you, we play critical roles to make that happen and be accountable to make that happen.
That inclusion piece of the component is just so important. And I don't think the insurance industry is perceived, and reinsurance is in a worse place than the insurance industry as far as progress has, at least from my perspective. But that inclusiveness of no matter how you identify or how society perceives you, that you believe when you show up at work on any given day that you have the opportunity to succeed and be treated fairly in whatever you go about on that given day, given month, given year, and your opportunities for the future. So I want, and this is where I understand this, and Lori said it resonates with me, like in our roles, we have responsibility to make that happen. And I think that really came home to roost last year in a way that hit me harder than it had in my past, even from my own personal experiences. So we've really worked hard to be listening and learning. And I think there's a, refreshed focus on that for us to hear. And I'll say to all corners of the organization to understand better. And it's been fascinating for me, in some ways sad and painful, in some ways enlightening, of watching the other managers in the group learn as well. And we've done it very organically, but it's created momentum and passion to make a difference and to make a community, whether that's in Gen Re, in the reinsurance community, in the industry, right, in the US or in the world, where that inclusiveness and that belonging happens in a positive direction.
As an industry, as a society, we're no longer saying diversity and inclusion, but it's about equity too. And so, I've often said that I don't work in D&I, but I am D&I. I've been doing this for 38 years, and so it's very important to me as a legacy. So, Christoph, I'd like to know if you would, Lori mentioned it a little, if you could talk a little bit more about, I was just fascinated when I read about the apprentice program.
We started at Zurich North America in 2016 with the first apprenticeship program. And I think it was the first one in the insurance industry that was certified by the Department of Labor. And so we've been expanding it ever since. We started underwriting and claims, we moved to finance, we then added cyber as a specific apprenticeship program, and then we now have also brought in the whole IT function. And we moved from Chicago initially, now we have brought in New York as well. And during the pandemic, we didn't slow down. We actually had the largest intake of apprentices in 2020 and also the most diverse one. So for us, it's been great. It's been a great way to attract talent, and I think it really is a win-win. You get great capabilities in the organization, people with practical skills, and it's a great track. And then Lori and I have exchanged on this one as well. Aon, together with Zurich and Accenture, were the founding partners of the Chicago Apprentice Network. I think we now have more than 40 companies in there. And for me, this is something where, as an industry, we can do more and we should do more. And I think this is a great way of actually bringing diversity into the office environment.
I'm just so impressed, and I am just so very proud of our industry. So thank you. And I know that the IICF is very proud, and I'm sure we'll see each other.
Thank you, Bonnie.
We will. Thanks, Bonnie.
Congrats
and cheers to 10 years.
10 years.
What a great discussion. I want to thank all of you for your time, your insights, and your commitment to the IICF. And a special shout out to Bonnie for moderating. We are grateful for the powerful messages that you have shared with us this evening. And kudos to all of you for the amazing programs you've put in place to help employees and customers through this unforgiving pandemic, and for your dedication and continued focus on diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging within your organizations. To acknowledge their commitment this evening, each of our panelists were given the opportunity to select a nonprofit of their choice. Marcy Stephen, our IICF's grants chair, will share the details. Marcy?
Thank you, Sabrina, and thank you to our panelists this evening. We are grateful for you and your support you've shown to IICF over the years. To show our appreciation, contributions on behalf of all of our speakers are being made to the following nonprofits: Lincoln Park Zoological Society, Year Up Chicago Chapter, Chicago Urban League, YEMBA, and the IICF COVID-19 Children's Relief Fund. A special thank you to Jen Ree for matching their contribution to the Children's Relief Fund. IICF opened this international campaign ensuring that funds are distributed throughout the US and UK to nonprofits that help vulnerable children and their families struggling with food insecurity and other risks exacerbated by the pandemic crisis. In 2020 alone, you and your companies helped deliver 2.2 million meals and other essential needs to children and families across all of our divisions. In addition to that, we worked with the regional nonprofits that received grants from our Community Grants Fund to ensure that they were able to address their pressing needs in light of the pandemic. The need is still so great, and you will have an opportunity to continue your support during the paddle drop this evening. But first, you've heard from longtime partners of the IICF, Stepstone Academy, and Youth Guidance. Now we'll hear from DuPage Pads about what funding has meant to them in 2020. Stay tuned.
Hello to all of our friends at the Insurance Industry Foundation. I'm April Redzik, President and CEO of DuPage Pads. On behalf of the families in our care, I want to thank all of you so much for your remarkable support over the years to improve the lives of children and their families who are experiencing homelessness. Our challenge was greater than ever before over this past year, with continuously changing needs to help. In the spring, your support helped us to adapt during a pandemic and allowed us to create new ways to safely provide shelter. In the end of 2020, we'd provided more than 29,000 nights of shelter. As we moved from our traditional shelter sites to hotel-based shelter for COVID safety, you helped to provide more than 106,000 meals for those staying with us from March 21st to December 31st of last year. This fall and winter have brought more to us than ever before. In October, we began seeing an unprecedented number of mothers with babies and small children, many of whom came to our front door with strollers and car seats. We were able to give them a safe, warm bed because of you. Children are not sleeping in cars right now because of you. Right now, we have more than 200 guests in our hotel-based shelter. A third of those guests are children. We're not only making sure they have food and diapers, but also connections to remote learning. And we're helping their parents get back on their feet so they have a permanent home of their own someday. We are so grateful to you for your history of support to us. Your generosity was a lifesaver, especially as we were called to get creative in the ways we cared for our clients in 2020. It was a tough year and a remarkable year, but a lot less tough because of tremendous people like all of you at the Insurance Industry Foundation. I hope you'll join us in making 2021 an even more remarkable year because of the impact we've made in people's lives.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nicole Kaywell, and tonight I have the great privilege of serving as your auctioneer. I've had the honor of working with IICF across other events over the years, and am continually humbled and inspired by the magnitude of this mission and the far-reaching impact of the work. As we celebrate this monumental 10th anniversary, it's important to note that in that time, the Midwest Division has awarded $3.5 million to over 150 nonprofits. Last year alone, this division granted nearly $500,000 to 27 organizations, and during this challenging time launched the IICF COVID-19 Children's Relief Fund, which alone is responsible for feeding more than 2.2 million children and their families. Folks, really pause and breathe that in because this moment has power. All of that was made possible because of you. And what we do right now in these next few minutes will drive the Midwest Division's Community Grants Fund for the year ahead, benefiting nonprofits with a focus on health, education, and safety. And you got to hear some of those stories tonight. Perhaps what I love most about IICF is that is it a testament to what we can do when we work together. This organization brings insurance industry professionals together in the spirit of collaboration. It shows that we are stronger together, and we all have a shared commitment to the well-being of our communities. That's why we are joined together tonight as one collective committed to changing lives. So ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, I'm going to open up the bidding at $5,000 and work my way to 100. The ask is that when I arrive at a level that is comfortable, exciting, and inspiring to you, you give a gift of personal significance. And the goal is 100% participation. What we do in these next 5 minutes determines the reach IICF can have throughout the year ahead. You can give as an individual, you can give as a company, you could give a one-time gift, or you could give a reoccurring gift. But I want you to remember this moment in the year ahead when you see these grants being made, when you see nonprofits receiving funds to continue their life-changing and life-saving work. And when you see your communities getting stronger, I want you to remember this. And I want you to know that you helped move that needle. You helped make that possible. That is what we are about to do. So ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to have your payment information nearby, have your phones in hand and ready to go. We don't have paddles to raise, but we have phones to give, and I promise you that is even more powerful. There are 2 places to go to do it all. You will see them in the chat up on your screen. The first is that give.iicf link. Kindly just click that. It will take you right where you need to go. There's also a text to give option. Again, you will see that in the chat up on your screen. I know that we are going to exceed every expectation and break every record. I know that IICF is going to continue changing lives, and I know that you are going to answer the call tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Let's go. Let's do something powerful. Right now, I'm opening up the bidding at $5,000, and I'm looking out to this virtual crowd for what brave soul is going to lead this charge at the $5,000 level. Folks, I am asking for 100% participation. I am asking for you to meet this moment. We're going to get things started in such a big way, and that starts right here at this $5,000 level. Folks, we are going to celebrate and honor this 10th anniversary and raise more money than we ever thought possible. We are all a cause for good tonight. $5,000 is my ask, and my screen is starting to light up because these gifts are starting to come in. What a way to start just moments into this paddle raise, and I already feel that energy pouring in. $5,000 is where we are. It is going once. It is going twice. Give it up for our donors at the $5,000 level. What a way to lead our charge tonight. Right now, we are taking a step to $2,500. So again, folks, I'm going to guide you through tiers of giving, and you could kindly just enter that on your screen when you click the link in the chat or when you follow that text option. But we are now collectively gathered at $2,500. Folks, this is about providing opportunities to our communities, and this is about being a catalyst to everything that becomes possible thereafter. We are opening doors tonight, and we are making opportunities possible. We are truly lifting people to higher ground. And again, the goal is 100% participation. I am asking for your help. Here come the gifts once again. $2,500 is where we are. It is going once. It is going twice. Thank you to our donors at $2,500. Again, folks, if I pass up a tier where you want to give, just enter it when you click that link or follow those text prompts in the chat up on your screen right now. I am now taking us right now as a collective to $1,000. We are hovering right now at the $1,000 level. Folks, this is always the level when we absolutely blow the roof off the place, and I want to do something so powerful right here. Again, these 10 minutes are the most powerful of the year. It's the most important fundraiser of the entire year, and this is the moment we get to take all of our love and feelings and convictions for the work that IICF does, and you get to do something about it. We get to make a powerful, tangible difference, and we are at the $1,000 level. And absolutely, I am getting flooded with donations right now. Thank you so much, everybody. Keep those gifts coming in with every click of your phone. We are truly changing lives. We are strengthening our communities. We know that no one makes it alone, and we all have a job to do. So, folks, thank you for all of the generosity that has already come pouring in. Let's not stop here. We are at $1,000, folks. Click it in that link and enter it when you follow those text prompts. $1,000 is going once. It is going twice. Thank you to our donors at $1,000. Folks, we are gathered from all over to make these opportunities possible. And right now, I am taking us to the $500 level. $500 is where we are. Again, let's meet this moment. Let's really sink our heels in and let's raise more money than we ever have. Folks, think about a time in your life when someone may have raised a paddle for you. This is truly your chance to pay it forward. Going to bed tonight, knowing that you changed lives, that you really, really made something possible. And again, this is our 10th anniversary. I want to do something so powerful to honor that. And let's shape some paths forward. Let's strengthen our communities as we do. And let's lift up our neighbors. We are at $500, folks. Let's harness that collective power that brought us all together tonight, because we love and believe in IICF and we want to make our community stronger. $500 is my ask, and the gifts are coming in, and I don't want to stop that momentum, folks. Kindly keep it coming our way. $500 is the ask. It is going once. It is going twice. Thank you so much to our donors at the $500 level, folks. There are just 2 tiers to give tonight. And again, you could click the amount that works for you and enter it when you follow the prompts in the chat right now for those 2 places to give. 2 tiers left. And right now I'm taking us to the $250 level. Again, folks, we are all gathered at $250, folks. This is the power of teamwork. That's what this organization is all about. That's what this moment is. Let's crush this goal together. I'm posing this challenge to you right here and now. I want to raise more money than we ever have, folks. This is our 10th anniversary. This is the most critical of years and times. We have seen the challenges out in the world right now, and we have seen how IICF has really met that moment, how they've provided incredible opportunities to those in need, and that is what we are making possible. That is what these couple minutes right now are doing. So $250 can go so far. There is no gift too big or too small. Every single dollar coming back to this organization is truly shaping our communities and changing lives. We are at $250. My screen is absolutely on fire, and you are not relenting. And that is all I ask of you. Thank you so much for everybody who is continuing to give right now. Keep that energy up as we hit the final stretch. $250 is going once. It is going twice. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our donors at the $250 level. Oh my goodness, folks. We are in the home stretch, and we are now at the $100 level. This will be our final tier tonight. But keeping a little bit of a secret, something very cool is going to happen at this $100 level. Check it out. For every single person that gives a gift at this $100 level, you are going to be entered into that Peloton raffle. I know some of you bought tickets in advance. It is the hottest piece of fitness equipment right now, and I want it to be yours. For a gift at the $100 level right now, your name is going into that raffle, and that thing can be yours. Folks, this is so important. Even if you gave at another tier tonight, I'm graciously and humbly asking you to add $100 more onto your tab. I want to finish stronger than we ever thought possible, and I want to send a Peloton to your house, and this is the place to do it. $100, folks. Let's go right now. We are going to announce the winner of this on March 15th, so that is going to give you plenty of time to give and to encourage those you love to do the same. We are at the $100 level right now. Again, folks, let's finish stronger than we ever thought possible. I am seeing these gifts pouring in on my screen right now. This is absolutely incredible. I want that Peloton to be yours. And again, I want to strengthen our communities, and I want to absolutely obliterate our goals so that we can make so many incredible things happen in the year ahead. $100 is going once. It is going twice. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and give it up for all of our donors tonight, especially those that rounded things out at this $100 level. Folks, you are unrelenting, and I don't want you to take your foot off the gas. I am continuing to see these gifts pour in. Please, please continue to do so. I promise you I can feel that energy, and I send it back to all of you with such incredible gratitude. Again, folks, I knew you were going to answer the call tonight, but I am absolutely blown away and truly humbled and inspired by the response we just got and are continuing to get. So those gifts are pouring in, and I don't want them to stop. So again, we are going to keep all of these sites open. That link in the chat and that text option are going to be open until March 15th, and that's when we're going to pull that Peloton winner. So keep those gifts pouring in. Encourage those you love to do the same, and we are most appreciative. Again, there's no gift too big or too small. Everything is truly shaping our communities, and that is what you are making possible. So thank you so very much. What an honor it has been for me to have spent part of this evening with you and to witness you answer the call in such a profound way. On behalf of everyone at IICF, thank you from the bottom of my heart. What an honor it has been to be a voice for this organization. Stay tuned for the final closing of our program, and I can't wait to see you soon. Thank you.
What an inspiring evening. As we bring this evening to a close.
Good evening. I'm Kelly Hartwig, and I interrupt this program to recognize our outgoing chair, Sabrina Hart. Sabrina has served as IICF's board chair these past 3 years with resolve and grace and a commitment to uniting the industry and helping communities. On a personal note, Sabrina, I am grateful for your leadership, mentorship, and friendship the last 3 years. It has been an honor and a pleasure to work with you, and I appreciate all you've done for IICF during your tenure.
How well the IICF Midwest Division has flourished under your leadership, Sabrina, for the last 3 years. You lead with grace, passion, and a good sprinkling of humor. Thanks for everything, Sabrina. Cheers!
Hey Sabrina, just wanted to say thanks so much for all your hard work on the IICF board over the last several years. Even though I'm new to the board and we haven't worked together for very long, I can certainly see your impact and mentorship on the team and on myself even in this short period of time. So thank you so much for all your hard work. It has truly made a difference.
Good afternoon, everybody. From the moment that I met Sabrina, I could tell she has a great soul. She's amazingly kind and always so inclusive of individuals involved with IICF, from the board, donors, and recipients. I am so honored to have had our paths cross during this time. Sabrina, I wish you my best, and thank you for giving me yet again another reason to be so proud of the insurance industry in which we serve.
Congratulations, Sabrina, on your amazing 3-year tenure. My favorite memory is from 2 years ago when we honored Lloyd's CEO Inga Bill with the Trailblazer Award. The three of us were chatting at the reception, and I remember thinking, wow, how did this good old boy from Kentucky end up here with these two incredibly accomplished and globally recognized executives? Well done, you've earned a break, and best wishes in all that you do.
Sabrina, congratulations on your successful leadership of the IICF. You are a true class act, always focused, always driving toward the goal, and making an incredible impact. Thank you for being such a great leader, such a great mentor, and a great friend.
What an inspiring evening. As we bring this evening to a close, we must celebrate. So our total keeps rising. Thanks to your generosity and to everyone at home, you're donating and we are seeing it. We're very, very close to meeting our goal. Thank you, thank you. And congratulations to all the nonprofits highlighted previously by Marcy, our IICF Grants Chair, that will be receiving the funding from the donations this evening.
Yeah, and we just want to thank all of the companies and individuals that contributed to this evening and for making it happen, specifically our platinum and gold sponsors, and really every single individual that did contribute in a very difficult time to do so. We thank all of you for your support to the IICF.
And as board chair over the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to collaborate alongside some amazing individuals that I call friends. These friends share the same passion for making a difference together. Thank you to my fellow IICF Midwest board members for your time, for your commitment, your passion, your leadership, your support, and your friendship. And special thanks to Hank Watkins and the Board of Governors, to our Heartland and to our Ohio chapters, and to our associate board. And of course, nothing would be possible without our incredible Midwest Executive Director, Kelly Hartwig. Kelly, we thank you for all that you do. And Jeff, thank you for co-hosting with me this evening. And as I pass the reins to you as the incoming board chair, I wish you and the IICF continued success and look forward to continuing to work with each of you to make a difference in our communities in the Midwest.
Well, thank you for that, Sabrina. On behalf of everyone who's been on the board with you over the last 3 years, we appreciate really your leadership, your approach to the board, to the foundation itself, and me personally for the mentorship that you've given me. I just only have to now actually live up to the same standards, so no pressure on me.
Jeff, thanks for those kind words. It has truly been an honor serving as the board chair. And I have the pleasure this evening of announcing that we have raised a total of $400,000 to continue our mission.
Congratulations, everyone. Really, that's an incredible number. 400 is outstanding. It's a very perfect ending to a hopefully rewarding night for all. Stay tuned for some great music from our most recent Battle of the Bands. And again, have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Cheers to 10 years. Here's IICF Midwest. Cheers to 10 years.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Pajamas, a high ride, a hot potato. It's tickling my fancy. Speak up, I can't hear you. Here on this mountaintop, I got some wild, wild life. I got some news to tell you. About some wild, wild life. Here come the doctor in charge. She's got some wild, wild life.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. I heard he sang a good song, I heard he had a style, and so